Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it. 2023, we are trying to give y'all the best, even though that homework kind of took priority. But I got you. I'm on schedule now. Let's make it happen. So hit the like button, share it with somebody, because we got a lot of fire stuff coming, and the whole thing, the way we finna bring it to you is finna be ridiculous. So please, and I'm gonna stop begging.
Pretty please.
All right. So, what's the first topic you want to talk about? Because there's been a lot.
So there's so much things that's like going on, so many things that we've missed. But we just came up across Black History Month.
Yep.
So we want to honor those that are in Black history and
Yes.
those that are making the changes and out there in the community trying to make us better and trying to give us like progression. So
Yeah.
we want to thank everybody.
I want to definitely shout out to the colonel that just received the his how you know we're a veteran and just received the Medal of Honor from Vietnam after like what has it been like almost 60 years, so about 50 something years, and they said they lost his Medal of Honor paperwork not once but twice.
I'm gonna guess what branch that was.
Probably the Army. Yeah. But it was definitely the Army. And back then it was probably had some racism to do with it, but now it's the same. Like they lose your paperwork. You make sure you make copies of everything because they're gonna lose it. But it is what it is. But congratulations to him. And please forgive me for not pulling up his name ahead of time. But he just received the Medal of Honor, saving his troops, refused to obey the commands of his officers over him to just leave his troops behind, stay there, and now he finally received his award recognition. So congratulations to him at the end of Black History Month, and all of those that put in the work for us to make it further.
We commend you all.
Yes.
And moving forward, so I do want to offer congratulations.
To who?
To Kiki Palmer. She just had her baby boy.
Yeah.
He is so cute and adorable.
Congratulations to the baby boy.
Welcome to the world.
I'm gonna pray for you. Because again, I will say, why are we congratulating another child entering into this world at a disadvantage?
Well, speaking of disadvantage, she did mention. So she posted on her IG, and I'm gonna play like her clip so you can hear what she said.
If you are a single parent, pull out your cape. Matter of fact, clip off your angel wings, because I don't know how that you did it. And I really don't want this to sound like, pandering or something like this, because I know there's a million and one reasons why somebody wants to be a single parent or has become a single parent. Maybe they lost somebody. Maybe they don't want to deal with somebody. Maybe it's a choice. But when it comes to raising a kid, I've already learned in these short few days that it takes a village. And sometimes that's a privilege. And I just want anybody out there that is a single parent that's been doing this, friends of mine, people that I don't know, family members of mine, I'm really in my heart. I bring tears to my eyes. I am just truly, profoundly impressed. I just came on here to say, if
you can't even but for one, she's an actress, so you can't really trust anything she's saying. Like, she ain't pandering, but she is. She know that she's just. Now that I'm a mother, I can say I understand what mothers are going through, but you don't understand what those that are really struggling are going through. You understand what it might possibly be, but for her to say it is like, come on, bro.
It's just different struggles for different folks. So she's on like a totally different type of struggle. Because regardless of if you're rich and famous or if you're just getting by, you always, especially having a new child, you always have that sense of wanting to give them security. So you don't want every and anybody to just come around them and try to help you and take care of them. It's only going to be like your close knit family or the people that you trust. So
Yeah,
her
but
being,
what they got to do with the fact that she's trying to shout out the single mothers?
her being a single, well,
She ain't single.
she's
She's not.
not
If
technically
if
single.
you ask her, she ain't single.
But yeah, she's not technically single.
But she ain't technically married either.
When you go to file taxes, it's not actually single, married, filing separate, married, filing joint.
Right. What she's doing is she's saying, I understand that you single mothers have it hard, even though I really don't. But what she's not saying is, I also understand that by me doing, by me going through the process of having a child without being married, I am still perpetuating and also promoting the idea that you can do it by yourself, which you can, but it's gonna be a whole lot harder, and it ain't gonna be half. Actually, by math, when it requires a mother and a father, it won't be half as much as it would be in a married household with a mother and a father that planned it.
Yeah, of course, being a single parent is like one of the hardest tasks or jobs.
And both of us has done it, so it's not like we're not speaking from
like inexperience.
Yeah, and I'm not speaking of judgment. Like, oh, I understand that it's hard, and I understand that we didn't actually choose it, but we don't want to perpetuate the idea, the ideology, or the idea that you should do the actions that put you in a situation where you have to do it by yourself. You shouldn't. And if you understand it, and that's one thing I'll give her. We need to keep putting it out there to those people that have not made that choice that has led them to that position, to understand that don't put yourself in that position. Your choices is what puts you in those positions.
Because every woman feels like they're like a superwoman until you get that that gives you a weakness.
True. Every man feel like they're a Superman.
So you reach your kryptonite.
Yeah. Or you get that sun energy. You get that sun energy, be like, I got this. But look, all that to say this, yo, I'll say congratulations to her. Well, yeah, congratulations to the baby for coming out. For coming out. He came out. But congratulations to her because she has the means to sustain a healthy life for her child. But we're gonna see what happens with the relationship. Where's the dude at? Like, why is the dude not in there with her?
He's probably holding the baby while she's recording.
He doing the ASAP Rocky thing, huh?
What's that mean?
You got another hour? Because we can talk about that one.
I love you.
No, if you want to, we can go there. We need to go there. We need to go there.
Then what does that mean, though?
What does it mean? It means that, okay, let's do it. We got another couple minutes on this segment. Let's do it. So when it comes to for one, Rihanna on number 2 is continuing the cycle to show the wrong way to do it.
But you should, of course, Rihanna, she doesn't try to exemplify herself as a role model.
You don't have to be. You don't have to exemplify yourself to be a role model. To be a role model, you are in a role. The whole idea of what is the definition of a role model? A role model is somebody that has a role that that people want to emulate, and therefore you are their model of what should be.
That's the thing. Like people need to like really sit down with themselves and reflect. You are not Rihanna. You can't do what Rihanna did.
Exactly.
So some people need to humble themselves.
And then we get on that whole point of ASAP Rocky. That whole image of Rihanna and him being carrying the baby and being she in the lead, holding her hand. Look, that works only in that's the only time Rihanna and ASAP Rocky is an anomaly. That is the only situation where that works for them. Yeah. And you know why? Because women do not want a man that is just going to hold the baby and follow behind her. You know why?
You say they don't?
They don't. No.
Why not?
Because every woman says the first thing that comes out of her mouth when you ask a woman what do I want in a man, the first thing she says is a leader.
Yeah, but that's
then if you want a leader, no, it's not. That's not what. If you that so you can honestly can you honestly say that is what a woman believes when she says I want a leader? Somebody that's gonna let me go out and be in the front and he gonna hold the baby. He gonna take care of the kid.
So you expect?
I'm not no answer that part. Do you believe that that's what a woman is thinking? And when she says I want a leader.
So this one is difficult. Only because
you don't want to answer it.
Only because, okay, as saying that you want somebody to be a leader.
Yes.
You want them to lead in different ways.
Like what?
So you want them to not only be a provider, a nurturer, just somebody that's by your side that can give you good, sound advice, and to be there to support you through every and anything. He is supporting her through her stardom, and she's coming off of maternity leave, but she's still kind of.
No, she's going into maternity leave. Well, that's a whole baby. That baby almost grown. That's a toddler almost.
Well, it's different in celebrity land.
Yeah.
Because they can take longer maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just coming back into. It's like she's just coming back into the office.
Mm-hmm.
So he's carrying her load for her.
Nah, so he ain't carrying that load, and that's the other thing. He's not carrying that load. ASAP Rocky has his career too.
He does.
That's what I'm saying. They're an anomaly because they're in a situation where she can do what she does, which is what makes her great, and he can do what makes him great. But they can afford to have somebody to carry. They can Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, whoever. They can be like, all right, you had a kid today, I got the kid tomorrow. But neither one of them really has a kid because they can afford for somebody to literally walk beside them holding their kid.
Of course.
That's the difference. That's the difference because people are literally saying that ASAP Rocky and Rihanna are a model for what women should want. In the past couple of weeks, that's what I've heard, and that's what the issue is. That is not a model that works.
Of course not. Well, as a regular person, you wouldn't want your child's dad to be loading the baby and walking around with the baby while you just.
Because she's gonna resent him. She's gonna resent him. Well, no matter how much he's supporting at home, she's gonna resent him because she's the one making the money.
He probably makes money too. You know,
no. See, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know their pockets.
No, but we know they're successful in their own rights. Both of them are successful in their own right. But what I'm talking about is if we transition it over, like you just said, to a regular family, or regular people, they don't have those same means. So to use them as a model, knowing that they're not regular, and then some people try to bring that into their ideology of how a relationship is supposed to work, and they know that it doesn't fit. They know it doesn't fit.
But there's nothing wrong with a man.
There's nothing wrong with it, with a man holding the baby or
even
holding the family down.
One of those.
Yeah. But I'm saying, it's not. There's actually, to me, there's nothing wrong with a man holding down the household while the woman goes out and makes the money. Because if she has a career that's more successful and can bring in more income, and it's better for him to take care of the house than for him to go to work and put the children in daycare, and the daycare is taking more money than he's actually making or close to that amount, and the kids are not getting that family time, they're not getting the education, they're not getting the love that they would get if if they were at school. There's nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. The issue that comes in is, regardless of what the woman says, when she goes out and makes more money and brings home the bacon, she's not going to be happy with him. I don't believe it's possible. I don't believe it's possible.
Because if love is love.
Love is love, but resentment is resentment as well.
But if you love somebody, you're not going to resent them for being who they are.
I'll give you an example.
If they're a power couple, go getter, sometimes it looks like that. Sometimes it looks like.
I'll give you a very big example. Why is Oprah never married Stedman?
She probably has a reason. She has probably.
Because she make more money than him. She's not finna marry him knowing that she's the breadwinner. It don't matter. But we know she's the breadwinner. So she will never respect or believe that she is in the. I know why. I actually don't. I know why. She said she wanted to marry Stedman because she doesn't want her duties to him to take away from what she wants to do and accomplish. So, that being said, her vision is greater than her want or understanding or value for what a marriage is.
But so many people think like you have to be married and solidified in a situation. It's not always 100% necessary, I don't think, because in a whole like family dynamic, there's more to it than signing your name on a contract and saying, "Okay, we walk down the aisle. This is what we're doing." And you still have to build bond. You still have to work through things. There's a lot that goes into it.
Guess what? That's why a lot of people, especially stars, are not getting married anymore. Because there's a lot that goes into it. And it's easier not to do it.
Did you hear about the guy that...
That's what Keke Palmer. Congratulations to Keke Palmer. She got the kid. She got the kid, but she don't have the marriage because we'd rather have the kid and not the marriage, because the kid we think the kid is less work until we get to the end of that kid's childhood and realize they probably would have been better if we'd have been married.
You have two parents. As long as you're a part of your child's life, I think that's what gives them a well-rounded life. You have to be actively. You have to be present.
And I would say I would say that could be true because of the fact that you could be in the same household and still be crappy parents.
Yeah. You can be present in that. Have a presence. So there's a guy that there's a show called Kendra G.
Yeah. And I'm gonna let you say this, and then we're gonna wrap this segment up.
Yeah. So he said that he wants to marry a guy because
I saw that.
He doesn't want all the work that comes with being with a woman, but he's straight.
He said he didn't want everything that comes with being a modern woman.
He just wants
being with a modern woman.
So he'd rather marry a man.
for the
a
benefits,
straight man.
for the benefits, the tax benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Because they said that's starting to trend now.
Each his own.
Guys are marrying each other.
To each his own. Right. And that's what you feel like you need to do for the tax breaks. If y'all ain't doing all that, if you not having intercourse and you just like trying to get tax breaks, you just write off enough from your business. The dude said he was a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
You can write off enough. I filed taxes as a single man owning a business and made more in tax return than I did from actually being married and writing off. So it's just like, maybe you need a better accountant, bruh. Maybe you need a better accountant.
You need some education.
I don't know. Whatever. But hey, we are Black Press. I'm your boy, Mr. Define. And we are, again, Black Press. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, people. Love you. Do the best you can in everything you do. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy, Mr. Define. And we are Black Press. Alright, so, we're not going to just not talk about the elephant in the room. Everybody knows what's been going on with my boy. I usually say your boy. Yo, I like Michael B. Jordan. I always have, ever since Fruitvale Station. I think I've always thought he was a great actor. I was so sad when that little pit bull died. Okay, you seen Fruitvale Station? You fall asleep on everything. So anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna play this segment so that if you haven't heard about it and you've been under a rock, I'm gonna play this segment so you can hear what happened.
The whole thing went down on the red carpet at a screening of Michael's flick Creed 3 in Atlanta, after he was approached for an interview by L'Oreal, the host of the Morning Hustle show, who reminded him they grew up together.
And we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here.
Yeah, so that corny comment comes from a 2021 episode of the Undressing Room podcast, where L'Oreal, her co-host Eva Marcille, and Dominique DeDiva talked about the actor.
I think that Michael B. Jordan is just like a nice, corny guy. And I don't mean that as a slight, right? I mean, we all know that the nice, corny guys treat you the best.
To be fair, it was actually Eva who called Michael corny, but L'Oreal did admit that in high school she used to make fun of him.
To be honest with you, we teased him all the damn time because his name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshot. We lived in Newark.
Yeah.
Like that's the hood. You know what I mean? So we would make fun of him, like, what you gonna do with your little stupid headshots? Like, and now look at him.
Well, Michael clearly caught wind of all that.
Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure.
And L'Oreal later shared this final moment from the uncomfortable chat.
Have you seen the look that he gave her when she said, "You're not corny anymore"? This is, I love it, honestly. I love the whole thing.
It's like
Stefan Arkell.
Urkel.
Yeah. I love the whole thing. You know what? And she had remarks on TMZ, and I'll play it, and then I'll tell you why I love it. I think it's great, especially for this time we're in right now.
Just the bully narrative is crazy. And the things that people are saying to me, like they hope in my head, so it's one last be in the world. Like, I just think, like, if you were upset because you thought I called him corny and those are the things that you're rebuttaling with, it's like the crime and the punishment, that if that's what you thought I said, it doesn't even match up. Like, how is that okay? The narrative is definitely still pushed. I feel like I admitted exactly what I said. And then even those words got turned around. When I told the story, it was super lighthearted. It wasn't even in the sense of me breaking down the entire school experience. FYI, we went to school together for 1 year. So the narrative that I bullied him all throughout high school, this was 7th grade. We were like 12 years old and everybody made fun of each other. And then like I would get joked on because of my complexion. And, I went to a predominantly Black school. So it's like white girl, oh, your boy, now you're mocking me because of my voice. We made fun of each other. That was school, that was 1 year. Again, I've never bullied him. That just sounds so outrageous to me. Like me bullying.
The reason I think it's great is because at this point it brings us to an actual realization from where we used to grow up, and because Michael B. Jordan is like 1 year younger than me, so he's 36, I'm 37, and so we grew up at the same time. For me, it's like we need to see how people that are successful went through life, what they experienced in life, and although like I think this is the first time in my time that we've seen that if someone that has actually been successful and seeing a glimpse into what they had to go through to be successful. So if I was Michael B. Jordan, I would have probably called her on the side and be like, "Yo, thank you," because you're bringing me when I was bringing them headshots in,
and 12 too.
Yeah, so, yeah, in 7th grade. When I was bringing them headshots in, it hurt. But the earlier you are able to experience life struggle and life pain, or others not believing that you're capable of doing something, and then pushing through that, you become Michael B. Jordan.
He's an upstanding guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's corny per se.
Nah, he's corny.
Why you say?
Because I'm corny.
Yeah.
I'm corny. You know what? I see exactly right.
So when,
some of the things that I do are corny, but guess what? I own it. I want to show. And I'm gonna show you guys something. So just before our wedding, I was going through boxes and getting stuff moving over, and I found a picture from my middle school in my little memorabilia box, and of course I'm gonna show this on the screen, but I found this picture and I sent it to a friend that at one point we tried. I guess she tried to talk to me. We talked. It could have been considered dating, but I was obviously corny, so it didn't work out. But I sent her a picture because I don't blame anybody for anything that happened in high school or middle school, because I understand that what I experienced then is what made me who I am today. So it was funny because I sent her that picture and she didn't even know who that was in the picture, some other kid she was dancing with. And she was like, it says, "I see you in the corner," because I was in the background of the picture. And I was like, I said I was weird. She was like, "You weren't." And I was like, "I know I was a cornball. You don't have to spare my feelings. I'm okay with who I was because it made me who I am." She said, "You were always cool. Nerdy, but cool. Always a gentleman. That's what I remember." And I was like, I completely agree. Definitely nerdy. No complaints here. Nothing but positive words or how I viewed you as well." She said, "Thank you." But those things that we deal with as children, and that's the issue that a lot of people deal with. I think that a lot of people deal with that are struggling with life today is because they might have had it figured out young, or had things. Those people that experienced that cool life, and they those were the best years of their life, like Al Bundy. You remember Married with Children? Al Bundy, who was always talking about how he was a great football player in high school, and he made 4 touchdowns in one game, and all of this. Well, guess what? I mean, that's the highlight of your life. You don't have anything to push through after that because it was already great. It was already great. Michael B. Jordan experienced having a vision and others not seeing your vision, and as we've understood here, being ridiculed for the vision that you have, and then learning to push through it. That's what's important. That's why I'm like, that's great. We need to see not just the star, but what the star had to go through, because that's the lessons that we need to learn for our youth. That's the lessons that some of us need to learn. Your vision has to be greater.
Is going through a tough time.
Just stay focused and stay locked in. Just follow your heart. Try to block out the noise and distractions as much as possible and run your race. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just keep going.
That was Michael at the LA premiere of Creed 3 on Monday.
Pretty much, he said push through it. You have to push through. You can't. You have to have your vision. Like I said, pretty much, you have to have your vision. You have to focus on what you want. But I still want to talk about the other part, because what happened when he was a kid, that's great. That's not great, but it's what made him who he is. That's why I believe he's such a great actor, because when you see him on Creed, you see him, like, especially on Black Panther and on Creed, you literally see what he, like, if you pull back from what happened when he was a child, when he was a teenager, and you pull that into seeing his scenes, he's pulling from that. He's pulling from, nobody thought I could be who I am. Nobody thought I could be the king of Wakanda. Nobody thought I could beat the current king of Wakanda. So he was able to pull that because he had experienced it.
Because people have a way of working through the pain and turning it into strength. So.
But the issue I have on it is the other part. And this is from the other young lady who was on that podcast, and who said, "Oh, the corny guys treat you the best." And was like, and then she doubled down. She doubled down and said that Michael B. Jordan is always going to be corny because he's dating white women. So instead of you saying, you know what, it wasn't wrong, it was, maybe I should have said he was corny, da 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 da, or the fact that you recognize that the corny guys are the ones that treat you the best, but you're still not interested in the corny guys. I think that's the big problem that we need to talk about. Why does it? I feel like the black women, and I say black because that's who we're talking about in this whole situation. Why is it that we feel like we need to tear somebody else down and say negative things about them in order to build us up?
And that's for a certain genre of people. I think it's everybody, but a lot of people feel better when they tear other people down because it makes them look greater, or it makes them look more confident in themselves.
And that's
which is actually not how they're seen.
But that's what he did. That's what happened in high school. Like that should have been left in high school. Why we're still bringing what we were doing in high school into our adult years? He's 36. That means the other young lady is 36, and the people that she was with in the podcast are probably around the same age. So what are we doing?
Why are we? There's still people that's like adults and fighting.
Yes.
People don't.
When do we go? Grow up. Why do you think? Why is it that woman refuses to grow up? And I know what it is. And that's
And
the
it's
whole.
not that she's not refusing to grow up. She was just reflecting. So she's reflecting on a comment that was said years ago.
No, not her. I'm talking about the one that said he was corny now.
Okay.
The one that said he's corny now, and the one that says corny guys treat you the best.
Yeah.
So you have identified that your thought process of of not liking corny guys,
Mm-hmm.
you've identified that that's not the right way to go because you do know that corny guys treat you the best. So if that's the case, why have not you decided to change what you find attractive?
Some people don't want the
They don't want
so-called corny guy because they don't have thrill.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a flat beat. It's boring.
I'm gonna talk about it too when we get to this next segment about 50 Cent.
But if you think about it, like you
Stay
have to give
tuned.
people
Like
a chance.
this. Mm-hmm.
You have to give people a chance. And not everybody that's labeled as corny is actually corny. I see a cornball as somebody that what is a cornball?
It's a cornball is somebody who has a specific vision that they are willing to stick to and not deviate from.
I don't see that.
See,
as
but
a, as
let
a
me tell you
cornball.
what. Let me tell you why when it becomes a cornball.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes a cornball when when somebody's saying, "Oh, let's go out," or "Let's go on vacation." No, I can't go on vacation right now. I got this, and this to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't go on vacation right now because I have my finances are focused on this, and this. I'm not broke. I'm just shifting my finances to something that's catered to my vision. That's cornballish to a lot of people because you're not capable of going out or going on vacation. No, I'm capable. I'm just not willing to shift my direction to what you want to do, which is have fun. Because right now we're living in such a microwave. I need it now. There's YOLO, or there's no what's the term? There's no delayed gratification. We do not. Yes, we're living in instant gratification.
Just like food.
You want it fast. Now I want that microwave.
Fresh.
But there's no delayed gratification. But guess what? Guess who practiced delayed gratification? Michael B. Jordan. He did the work, and now Michael B. Jordan, at 36 years old, has a star on the Walk of Fame. 36 years old. Guess who else got a star this week? Monica.
Oh, she should have been
from Friends. Not wait, you talking from Friends? No, the singer. She's not an actor. She's not an actress. Why would Monica have a star on the Walk of Fame? She's not an actress. She does. Yeah, but she doesn't have an act. I'm talking about Monica from Friends. I don't know what her real name is. But Monica from Friends, and guess who was there? Rachel and Phoebe were there. You know, so they were all there for her star. But I don't know how old she is. She's definitely older than 36.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah, but she's no Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So Corny, and I told my sister the other day because she's finishing her master's. Well, she just finished off her classes for master's. She's graduating from UGA, and I told her because obviously inspired by Michael B. Jordan. Corny is only for those who are the cream of the crop. If you ain't the cream of the crop, you don't want to be corny. But you can't be cream of the crop if you ain't at least a little bit corny.
Find like a midpoint somewhere, like in between.
I don't believe you gotta find a midpoint. I think you gotta be happy with who you are.
That too. That's what I see.
That's where it ends
somebody
up
that's
at.
being a cornball. Somebody who's pretending to be something that they're not.
Nah. I think that no. I don't think that's a cornball. I think that's no. I don't believe. I don't believe that's a cornball because I believe that's just somebody that's faking. A cornball is somebody who's doing something. Like, okay, back in the day, not so much now. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. You watching Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. You playing video games all the time. And not playing like NBA 2K, none of that. I'm talking about like real stuff. When you straight into video games, art, music, band.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, because you corny too. That's why you love me. Because we married. Because you corny. Yes, you are. You got to embrace it. Because guess what? Corny leads to being cream of the crop.
I ain't gonna ask that. So, like, I'm okay with being either or. I see myself as being a confident.
Black. Oh, I'm definitely yeah. Yeah, so, you're definitely confident.
So whatever label.
Wait, I said confident. I did not say arrogant. I did not say arrogant.
So whatever label someone decides to put on you, you don't have to keep it. It's up to you to stand up to what you want to be. Just be yourself.
I like corny.
I'm not accepting.
I get myself like there are things that I like that are corny, and I understand that society as a whole does not identify with things as being cool, like having stock investments or
farming.
Like in that conversation where they were talking about him being corny, it was part of it had something to do with the fact that he for Valentine's Day he bought Lori Harvey stocks in the company. He bought her wealth.
Okay.
As long as I get you some flowers and some chocolates to go with it. Hey, shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to the Corny crew. Corny is not an issue. Corny, as long as you understand that what your corniness now leads to success later. You can't hate who you are. Embrace who you are. Enjoy it because now you see me when the boys start talking about Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, I'm having in-depth conversations, and they love it. And if that's what make me corny, that's cool too. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to every corny guy out there. Look, what do you believe is corny? Comment, like, share, comment, subscribe. Please share. Because if you like and you share, then they watch and more people watch, and then we get to push the narrative. All right? So, I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And I'm your girl, Trish.
And we are Black Press.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm your girl, Trish.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press.
All right, so I know it's the weekend. Y'all probably got some plans. Y'all probably want to go out. Y'all probably want to do stuff.
Hey, but I'm going to be in here watching that Chris Rock stand-up on Netflix. And it's live.
Yeah, he has a
Netflix premiere Saturday, March 4th. I'm going to be watching it first time with him outside of just the private shows.
Yeah.
Talking about the infamous slap heard around the world.
So he's already started like talking a little bit.
Yeah, in his
make jokes.
What they do, what the comedians do is they go to little clubs and they do little shows and they work on that. They do their jokes and to try to, to tailor it and try to tweak it to make it the most funny as possible. And I guess he's figured it out. He's got it as most funny as possible, so he's ready to put it out there live on Netflix.
He sparked the fire. he said that he watched that Will Smith Emancipation movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's a slavery movie.
Yeah, we talked about that. When
Yeah.
Willow don't want no more slave movies.
Yeah, he said he watched it so he could see Will Smith get beat. You see, that was not.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Oh wow!
He
I wish I
did.
had seen him say that. That's messed up. That's funny though.
Yeah, that's why he got slapped.
No.
That is exactly why he got slapped, because some of the outlandish stuff that he says.
But he's a comedian. They
He's
say
he's
outlandish
a comedian,
stuff.
but people have feelings, and feelings run deep. So you tell me, you never had somebody that you was talking to, and they were just talking gibberish or just making jokes on you, and you didn't want to just go.
Yeah, when I was young and immature.
Well, yeah.
Now, you if you talk trash, you gonna get this fire back. I can spit these insults.
I wouldn't even do that.
Like blades of steel.
That's a defamation lawsuit. I'm gonna take it there. Like, oh, what did you say about me again? Okay, that's even important.
Yeah, that wouldn't work too well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they sign agreements when they're coming in.
But you can't really just have somebody sit there talking about you, talking about your family, and then you just in there. Oh, that's so funny. Like, especially when you're already in your feelings. I don't suggest you go and slap somebody, because that's very rude. And
so there's video of Will Smith talking trash about other people. So if you can't dish it, don't take. If you can't take it, don't dish it. If you can't take it, then you should have never ever dished it. Even if you ain't dishing it now, you dished it then. So guess what? You're open.
Yeah, it always comes back to you. I know it was like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like.
But people talk about each other.
Yeah, but I talked about this before. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with the joke. It had to do with Will Smith viewed in his mind at that point that he was above playing the role of a respectable black man. Because you cannot be like win the awards for your level of acting and not be able to control yourself, your emotions, and your actions. I
don't think so. Because sometimes you have like psych breaks. You don't ever have a moment where you're like, you know what, this is just too much.
But you still have control. You still make that choice. You still make a choice.
Sometimes you react and then you think about it afterwards.
But I think you was thinking about it. You were thinking about it when you did it too, though, and you decided that how you felt in that moment was more important than what you were going to have to deal with and the consequences after.
That makes sense. Sometimes you just.
No, I don't think there is no just.
Yeah, sometimes people light your spark and then you just go off and boom.
And then you use that as justification for why you did it, knowing that you were thinking the entire way through. That's why people that do things end up in prison, because
I don't think it was preconceived though.
It don't have to be preconceived. Everybody in prison was not preconceived murder or preconceived robbery. It was you did stuff knowing, unless you were actually insane. You knew what you were doing. You just knew that you were more angry than to actually calm yourself down and not go through the consequences. Will Smith knew that there would not be consequences that would completely end his career, so he did it. I believe he weighed the options all the way up to the point where he initiated that contact. He knew what he was doing, and he did it because he knew that he could push through it.
It takes strength to be able to go to fight your feelings.
It also takes strength to move your legs and walk all the way up to stage and cock back and slap somebody. It takes strength to walk back. It takes strength to open your mouth and say, keep my wife's name out your mouth. You did all of that. You walked up there. You hit him. You came back. You thought about it, and then you yelled out something else. You knew what you was doing.
Possibly. You wouldn't slap
Huh?
You wouldn't slap the wife for me?
No.
What would you
Not over words.
do? Over words?
Nope. You know what I would do?
What?
I'd fire into him so many words that would make him want to hit me, and then when he do hit me, then I'm gonna knock him out. Like I have enough emotional intelligence to be like, okay, you want to go words? Let's do it. And then when I spit these words at you, you're gonna be so mad at me that you're gonna want to hit me, and then I got a reason to hit you.
Okay. I just want to tell you guys, we don't condone violence.
Nope.
So just try.
But you will get these words though.
Yeah. Just try to do it without sending yourself to jail because
You don't get these
we don't
words.
have bail money for you.
You don't get these words.
So
No, I'm not gonna do that though.
She's wisely.
Words hurt, and I don't want to damage your life.
In talking about going out and stuff when it's the weekend, so Ludacris, there was a post that said, and I'll post it on there, but I'm gonna play. Everybody remembers this song.
Luda! There's the love.
Oh, that's Shaggy.
Oh. I was thinking Chris Love.
Hey.
Chris Love. Wasn't Ludacris was a DJ first. He was wasn't he Chris Love on Atlanta's radio station? I believe he was. Chris Love.
Ooh, that's a whole word right there. So if you don't got no money, you really don't have no business going out, do you?
Depending on who you ask. And depending on the age, I'm telling you, look, I used to go out when I was young. I used to go out and I ain't had but like $20, $30 in my pocket.
But that can stretch.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
Now
you ain't got enough gas money.
You don't have gas money. You can't eat. You can't enjoy yourself. There's nothing you can do with $20. Kids go to stores and run for $20.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, but like I said, it depends on who you are because nowadays, folks is out here spending all their money. Oh my goodness, I want to pull up that video, but I don't want to hit y'all with too many videos. But I was watching this so you know what everything that's going on with the debt student loan debt relief, right? And it's at the Supreme Court, and they just heard it at the Supreme Court, and it kills me. And I really want to play this video, but I'm not going to do it. So they were interviewing people that were protesting and out there talking, wanting the Supreme Court to uphold the Biden, the presidential decree or whatever. And they pulled up on a black girl. And I feel like I want to play the video. She completely disappointed us because this is what she said. This is what she said. She said groceries are high, inflation is high, and she said that I ain't got enough to go on vacation. This is why you want your debt relief. This is why you want student loan debt relief.
See, it's a place and time for everything, and that just isn't the place.
This is why you want to.
Of course you want
in front of all of America, as a black woman, has decided, educated black woman, because she has student loans, so she's educated black woman, right? You have decided to say in front of all America that the reason you need this student loan debt relief is because you ain't got enough money to go on vacation.
She just chose the wrong word. Because everybody wants money for vacation.
We are Black Press on Instagram, and I'm gonna post that video on Instagram. Yeah. I'm gonna post that on Instagram. That's ridiculous.
It is very much so.
When I heard it, I was like,
it's like
really?
You don't say that on that. You don't say it in public like that.
If you ain't got no money, stay your broke home.
No vacation.
But that's what we living in. That's the life we living in right now. Right now, it's all about I need a vacation.
Because life is so stressful.
Yes.
You want some type of escape, but it doesn't
That's
always cost money. Like you can go to a park, you can go walk around the park. You can go to a zoo anyway, because zoo tickets are like
right,
like $30-$40.
go to the park. Look, you go to the right park. You know, get one of them parks. Go to one of them parks in the woods where you got trails, and you see some probably, especially down in the south, you see an alligator. You see some squirrel. You see some. If you know how to look for them, you definitely see a deer. Turkeys, wild hogs. You gonna see some beaver trails. You probably, if you got some food, you gonna see some raccoons because they coming out there for their food. Look, but my point, this was your section, but I just want to say, if you ain't got no money, stay your broke tail home. And here's the issue because of that. The issue is we're spending all of our money trying to enjoy life, but you don't see the back end of it. When you're, I've been like when I was in the first time I was in high school, college. I was at work. I spent my whole college at restaurants as a server, bar back, food expo, and I'm in there with grown women, grown men who are 40, 50 years old that's still working at the restaurants, or some of them 60 years old because they can't retire because they spent their time enjoying life in the beginning.
Yeah. And then those are the people that end up living like long.
But then that also we don't. That's what I don't believe. We don't have the strength that our ancestors before us had. They would work like that. Great granddaddy would work all his life, and his vacation was going to the family reunion. His vacation was, sitting on the back patio with a glass of iced tea. We've gotten to the point where we feel like we gotta have a vacation every year, but you don't realize it. Where is that? How much? What? A lot of us ain't making that much money either. We ain't making that much money. The average household is making like $20,000 to $30,000 a year. The average person that's making a good living is making $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
In the average household?
Yeah. Like, I think we get a lot of times those of us that are doing well are not understanding that there's a lot of people that's not doing well.
Yeah, and sometimes they surround you. So you don't realize like how.
And the reason I say the average household because most of the average households are single. See what I'm saying? So if you're single and you're only making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, you're not making enough to pay off your student loans and to save up for retirement and to go on vacation every year.
Single.
No,
making $40,000.
Most of them, but in single and with children a lot. You add in all those different.
If you have a mouth to feed, then that's where it adds up because it's not just.
And then rate. Like she said though, inflation. I was having this discussion with some students in classes. It's like everybody want. Not only are we making $40,000 to $50,000, but we also feel like we have to have our own apartment. I've never seen so much shun of having a roommate. If you're single with a child with no children, why do you need your own apartment?
A lot of people just want it for just space, independence. It make them feel like they're
exactly. It's the same.
You're turning the key.
They want to go think they living their best life, but you're not living the life that leads to your success in the long term. You're spending extra money, knowing that apartments are higher, it's more expensive, and you could spend half the amount of money with a roommate and still have of the all the space and amenities that you need, but you don't want to share because that's not what is looked at among society as being successful. What does that mean? Like, how much? Why do you need to look successful instead of just having more money in your bank account so that you can put down on your first home?
A lot of people don't think about that. They rather just rent. Not everybody thinks they want to be a home buyer because a lot of people think it's so much that goes into it. But
there's a problem.
You gotta work on your credit. You have to have
those same people would say that it's someone else holding the community down from being successful. When a large aspect of it is our own choices.
Yeah, you can be your own worst enemy.
Yeah. So I'm just don't understand. Well, I understand it, and one of these days I'll dig into the deep part of what's really going on in this community. A lot. I'm actually going to dig into it in this next segment. What was it? The next segment? The segment when we start talking about this 50 Cent interview. But first, I want to talk about this T.I. interview, and we're going to talk about it right after this break. Look, hit the like button, subscribe. Give me some comments. What do you think about this community? What do you think about if you ain't got no money? Should you be staying home? I say yes. Trish says you should enjoy life.
I do not. If you don't have the money, you need to be at home figuring out how you can get money. Be it another job, side hustle, starting a business. You need to start focusing because it doesn't make sense to be in a space to where you have to figure out robbing Peter to pay Paul.
So then, here's my point though. If you stay home and you on the grind, and I want to get some clarification on this. If you stay home and you on the grind, right, you're trying to get money, and then you spend all your money that you just made extra off the extra grind you doing on the vacation because you need an annual vacation. What has that done for you? What was the point?
Of course, that doesn't make sense. You don't. The extra money that you
But she's just out there living her best life.
No, the extra money that whatever money you put towards vacation, you can take out a little bit and put it. Hey, this is my vacation fund. This is what is going to be for a vacation.
Yeah, but how much is that vacation?
Take from your bill money and then put it to vacation.
How much
you
have your bill money, vacation would be?
You have your bill money. You have your investing. You have bill money. You have investing, and then you have vacation. So that is
so how much money do you think people are making though? That's what I'm saying.
You're not gonna make what's the average?
I just told you, 40 to 50 grand.
Okay, you're not gonna make $12 an hour and talk about you going on vacation somewhere. Like,
why not? She worked hard for that $12 an hour.
As an adult,
she worked hard for that $12 an hour. He worked hard for that $12 an hour.
Where can you even vacation with such?
I don't know.
You're not gonna have much options. So if you want good options and you want good places to go,
then you gotta spend more money.
Yeah, work hard, play hard.
My point is you gotta spend more money. So you're working harder, but you're spending more money on the vacation. So guess what? All that hard work went to that vacation, but you ain't got enough. So then you're making the decision how much you're gonna invest versus how much you're gonna spend on vacation, and the money goes to vacation versus investment. When the money should have really went back into the business that you've been starting that whole year, so that you can make more income. But it's like I need this vacation every year.
And you don't
put it in the comments. You gotta have a vacation every year.
You don't have to vacation every year. So you can have vacation. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy an expensive plane ticket, buy an expensive hotel. You and your friends, y'all can have vacation fun, and y'all can go together, or y'all it can be like as a family, or
That makes
they
more
have they
money. If
have
you take family,
Airbnb.
that costs more money.
Everybody for themselves. They have Airbnb. They have what's it's another one where you can like rent a room from somebody that's like overseas or something like that.
Oh, I know what
They
you're
have
talking
they
about.
have things like that. I
Yeah,
forgot the name of it.
I did too.
But they have things like that. They have cheap airfare. You don't and not Spirit or whatever the other one is. No plans. But
Spirit Airlines, American Airlines. Yo, American Airlines. I mean, they've been messing up. Yeah, I don't even want to get on the plane these days though. All these near accidents on the runway. Don't get me into it. Don't even get me into
it. But just make it feasible. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on a vacation. Make it feasible.
Or stay your broke home.
That's
all right.
Really.
Yo, hit the comment box. What do you think? Should there be vacations every year? There's a lot of people that think they gotta have an annual vacation. But let us know. Share this, have this conversation because this needs to be had. This conversation needs to be had. And you ain't got time to be out here. Never mind. Let me get out. You get me on my soapbox. I'm gonna get up there. You ain't got time to be doing this. We gotta do this and this and this because y'all know how I do it. Anyway, I'm your boy, Mr. Define. We are Black Press.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Amiga Trish.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press. So, you know I'm from Atlanta, right? Actually, I'm not from Atlanta. People be lying. I'm from the outskirts of Atlanta. So, you know, people that live in Atlanta be like, they get offended. They get offended. I started, Decatur. Decatur, then Lithonia. It don't matter because only people that really think that matters are the ones that are into that. But it don't really matter because you're really just trying to claim an area that. Anyway, whatever. Blah blah. But so I did love T.I. And I still do. Like I still connect with his music. But as I grew older, I kind of realized that the way the music industry is and the things that are rapped about are not really helping our community. So if it's not helping, then it can only be hurting. So the ideology of what's going on is really it's offensive to me because we're completely and intentionally going in the opposite direction of what we know what actually is true to be. And but all that to say, I still love Chia. I still love the music. I still like, as you know, when we come before we start these videos, I'm always on the doing the sounds like mic check, 1 2 1 2. You want to beef with the king? What is you gonna do when he show up on the scene? What is two gonna do? And you and your friends play a little 2-on-2. If you knew how to hold, I mean, you can get with Dick. I got a tool in the vest. I can get some respect. Make it hard for another sucker to respect. So the same squad for the sucker to test. But I do that because it's just like routine for me. It's just is in me. P.I. came out in 03. Right at, my sister, she came through 99. And that was when Lil Jon was coming out. And then 03, when T.I.'s first album came, like, really started popping in the community. And that was the year I graduated. So, like, year I graduated high school was when it was like I was finding myself, and everybody in Atlanta was listening to T.I. And so it was great for me back then. But then I started to see things as the glorification of what they were doing, and then I was realizing that what they were doing was what was killing our community. And then T.I.'s gone on to do the Trap Museum, and
They have a museum.
yeah. So they have built a monument based on the music that was glorifying the actions, and he don't think of it that way. So this is how he thinks of it. He thinks of it like this.
A lot of people say, you know, trap music, even after 20 years, they're like, yo, well, it's just glorification of felonious activity. It's just people, you know, making light of people selling drugs. Well, I say to that this. If you look at us differently, don't look at us as drug dealers, drug users, or former drug dealers. Look at us as refugees from the war on drugs. A war that was waged against the citizens in this country that looked like us.
Correct.
Crack was dropped off in our communities.
Right.
These sentences were meant to
take us away,
remove us from being able to be fathers, brothers, mothers, cousins, uncles, aunts, just break down the family dynamic.
Right.
And from that, we found the silver lining. We took what the devil meant for bad, allowed God to use it for good, turned it into philosophical presentation, set the music, called it trap music, and changed the course of living for our families forever. And nothing else has been able to do that for us.
Correct.
Outside of throwing a ball.
Yes, sir.
Catching, throwing, shooting some. I mean, ain't nothing else really that has been able to do that as much as this has.
Right.
And no one would say that an alcoholic who drank liquor for 20 years got clean in 2003 and been clean for 20 years, but still can recall how alcohol tastes, still can recall the last time they threw up, still can recall all of the hardships and all of the things, the pain that came with it, and still can recall how they overcame that and made sacrifices to live a better life today.
Right.
That's their testimony. No one could take that away from them.
As
and
an alcohol user.
But they use that testimony to share with other alcoholics to let them know that they too can one day get clean.
Yes, sir.
Nobody should be able to take their ability to share that testimony with the world. And that's how I see trap music.
Absolutely. That was
Absolute lie. Ridiculous. Oh my God. I will pick that thing apart. And I will, because there's an ideology that we have in our community that the music is and it's artistic, right? It's an artistic representation that we use our pain to make something better. And I'm gonna hit just on the points that he was talking about, because first off, the refugee point. Do you believe that the people that were in these communities are refugees?
I don't think so, because if somebody puts something down, why do you pick it up? If you know, like, even if there's an idea that it can be bad for you, that's like fentanyl.
Yeah.
Why are you picking it up? Why are you gonna take it? Why do you ingest it?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that can be some type of medicinal use? You didn't get it prescribed by a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been physically evaluated to take that medication, but you think it's okay to ingest that in your body and blame other people for what you've done. And then there's like crack babies and stuff. That's the result of it.
Mm-hmm.
That of course that's not their fault, but it's the parents' fault for consuming that stuff while they were pregnant.
Yeah.
And then there's so many other things that can happen from people taking drugs. So just like you always say, people need to take accountability. People need to take accountability for their actions because no one forced it on you.
Yeah.
It was dropped off in the neighborhood. Somebody could have been an advocate and say, "We not having that here."
Yeah.
Not take part in it and play a role of damaging the community as well. Because once they dropped it off, there's somebody out there distributing it.
Yeah.
And it's not just the consumers that are.
But they
that
say
are buying it,
because it
it's
was
people
dropped
that's
off,
giving it out.
the war was started against us, but they were the ones, but the government were the ones that put the drugs into the community in order to tear down our community.
So why not take it and put it back in their community?
Exactly.
Or why not take it and destroy it?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you take it and you can be an enemy to yourself?
Yeah.
And an enemy to other people because they found it okay to distribute this drug to everybody in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. That's the big problem I have. And that also, even with those political commentators that say, oh, the black community has been oppressed for this long, and and I know what's his name? Oh, that big the chubby guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll think of his name in a minute. But to say that to say that they were, or we're, yes, the black community are, the black community is definitely refugees. Refugees when they went from the south to the north, and then they went when we went from the south to the north to escape the Jim Crow. We were refugees. When we went up north, we were still subject to the Jim Crow laws, and also eventually the crack and cocaine that was introduced to our communities. But for T.I. to say that he himself was a refugee is to say it's for a warlord in Africa to say that he's a refugee. Mm-hmm. because of what was established by the British and the European colonies that came down and took all the resources from Africa. Like, dude, so what you're saying is because poverty and drugs was brought into your community, you're a refugee because you sold those drugs into your community. So you were just trying to, what? You're a refugee trying to make your way out of the community by poisoning the rest of the community? Like, make that make sense. Like, what is that? How? How does that make sense?
And the whole thing about like trap music, he's calling it a testimony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like him recalling his experience. It's supposed to help somebody, but if you listen to it, it's still like present day.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you can do this and get over it. He's giving it to you like what, like the poison, like the drugs.
Like it's right now.
Yeah, he's giving it to you like it's a drug.
I love how he said it's like an alcoholic overcoming his addiction, and he ain't harmed. You're saying no one. He said no one could say that alcoholic shouldn't express it. Shouldn't express how they overcame things. What about the daughter of that alcoholic that terrorized their household? What about the other neighbor that the alcoholic broke into their house?
Mhm.
What about the wife of that alcoholic who was abused?
Like
To
the children.
the children. So you're saying that nobody can tell that alcoholic that they shouldn't tell their testimony? I say maybe the children and the spouse that you abused while you were an alcoholic can definitely say that you shouldn't be able to tell your story, because guess what? And yeah, you should be able to tell your story, but you also have harmed those people. And the difference between an alcoholic and a rapper telling their what he calls a testimony is the alcoholic is not making millions of dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. No matter how much you're making, you're profiting off of telling the story of how you abuse the people in your house or your community.
And that's basically what he said.
Yeah.
He said that, if I recall correctly, that he said that the trap music is what helped his family.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It helped your family
his
off the
family.
backs of everybody else.
It's not everybody else. And what else? What else are you doing positive?
Yeah.
A trap museum. What?
Yeah. And then
what
he
does
can say,
that-
"Oh, I'm building communities, I'm building all of this," but everything you're doing all of that is off of profit from what you did. That's the say. So what he's arguing is, if I take his argument, then I can say that the slave masters that own the land and pass that land off to their generations after them, they were only doing things in that era to survive, and therefore their children that have generations of wealth is justified because they were just doing what they needed to do to survive in America, in a new land that needed income to in order to sell bring that commerce to Great Britain. They just needed to survive for their kids, right? Like, the justification is ridiculous. So I'm gonna hit one more point, and then I'm gonna tell you what it reminds me of. The other part was the fact that he said, never mind. I'm gonna leave it at that. The other part, the issue that, so if you know what's going on, do you know? So are you tracking what's going on with Fox News, and they're being sued by the company that Fox News is being sued by the company that made the voting machines because Fox News was knowingly allowing their reporters to tell false information about the whole election process. Yeah. So guess what happened? The Fox News CEO has said that they knew that what their reporters were saying was wrong. They knew it was a lie, but it was giving them good ratings. That is what T.I. is saying. He knew it was wrong, but it was putting money in his pocket.
Yeah.
So because it's putting money in my pocket, it's right for him. That's what we do. We do that so much, and it pisses me off to no end. Do not justify your wrong actions just because it makes what's right for you. If it benefits, exactly. But we do that all the time. We justify things. My actions were wrong, but I did it because of this. No. Don't say, but I did it because of this. Just say you were wrong. And then pay penance for that part. But that's not what we want to do. And it's so frustrating. Like, if you're wrong, correct it. Correct it. Don't say I'm wrong. But you know what? It's the same reason why America does not give reparations to Black Americans. Because if I can tell you I'm wrong, but I can't go as far as to give you the reparations of, like, dude, I'm telling you, all of them aggravate the crap out of me. T.I., Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Why Jay-Z? Because Jay-Z just did it on a higher level than T.I. Oh, you see? When it comes about North people, now you shake your head.
No.
See? Yes. We just said T.I. was wrong. T.I.'s from the South.
Ow.
We talk about Jay-Z, and it's different because Jay-Z is from the North. But guess what? Jay-Z made his money rapping about how he was selling dope up north.
Yeah, but Jay-Z has changed his
CEO of the ROC, even back then, you could call me the something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I used to move to a place by the OC.
But everybody knows. Everybody knows
But
that. That's
guess
what
what?
he. That's what he used
But
to
guess what? Used to do still is what made you your money to do what you're doing now. That's the same thing as a plantation owner. And then you rapped about it. So guess what? You received what was given to you by the government. And then you became you went from the slave to the slave overseer because you kept the rest of the slaves in line. Listen to this. You kept the rapper, the drug dealer kept the rest of the black people in line as an overseer by continuously holding them down by providing them drugs. And then you became a rapper because you didn't just want to be the overseer, you wanted to make more money. So you went from the overseer keeping them down to then you went to the slave owner by not owning the bodies of the people, but by owning the minds of the people. And then that wasn't enough. You needed to have a conglomerate of plantations. So that's when you started putting other slaves under contract. You see what I'm saying? You created your own record label to put other overseers under contract so that they could keep the black community down and then continue to enslave the minds of black people. So now you're not just the slave owner, you're not just the plantation owner, you're over the whole conglomerate of cotton is king. But now rap is king. So you're making all this money and you're trying to say that you've changed, but you still own everything up under that's still keeping the minds of black people enslaved.
The black people you have to want it enough in order to get out of it.
See, that's the same thing as saying
really
black people chose to be enslaved.
Yeah.
And part of that I agree with you. Cause you say you have to want enough to get out. When I say is to say black people chose to be in slavery, that's what Kanye said. Kanye said black people chose to be in slavery. So that's the same thing to say you have to want to get out. That means you have to. That everybody that didn't run away from slavery wanted to be enslaved,
or just didn't have a strong enough mindset to get out of the slavery. Because there was people freeing slaves. It's a lot of people that's scared to come out their comfort zone, so they stay in what keeps them comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what's out there. You don't know if you're gonna get killed. But a lot of the people that did escape and run,
mm-hmm.
Well, you have nothing else to lose. What else? What else do you have to give? So you just go until you can't go nowhere.
Yeah, and those are the people that create businesses.
Yeah.
Those are the people that do things outside of just what the community is doing, because it's like I realize that I am in
more.
slavery.
Yeah.
I need more. I have to have more, and I'm willing to risk it all to get out there and do more.
Yeah, but sometimes they have to hit rock bottom in order to find that rising top.
Yeah, or sometimes people hit rock bottom and never come back up. But my point is the to say that what you did is justified because of what the government did to you is to say that it's justified to be a black slave overseer, because it's better to be the overseer than to be the one picking cotton. It don't matter. If you don't share this, T.I. will never hear it. Just saying. I'm just saying. But I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And I'm your girl,
And we are Black Press. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And I'm your girl, Trish.
And we are Black Press. No? Spirit Fingers. Oh, yeah. Spirit Fingers was like what? Back in like 04? 03, 04? Anyway.
No.
Oh, wow. I told y'all like 2 episodes ago, I'm corny. And it's okay. Because I got kids, so I can be like dad corny. No? I don't care. I'm corny anyway.
That was a horrible
All of my dad jokes are horrible. That's the point. They're supposed to be horrible. If they were not horrible, they would just be jokes. What makes them dad jokes is that they're horrible. Anyway, look, even if you're young though, you can still like the channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, share this with somebody. Share this with somebody young because they need to hear it. And subscribe. Did I say subscribe already?
Like, comment,
Share, and subscribe. Alright, so next topic, and it's probably the last one for the week, so make sure you tune in. Look, so this was an interview a couple of weeks ago, and I was watching it, and it was good stuff. Honestly, I always watch not everything. I watch a lot about 50 Cent. I actually listened to his book. He had a great book. And the thing I like about 50 Cent, in contrary to T.I., honestly, is you can see his transition. Yeah, he talk trash. Definitely. He will troll the crap out of people on the internet, but when it comes to everything else, he is business. Even with the interactions with his son, like he understands that who he was then is not who he is now, and he does not try to justify the insanity of what he did then. Yeah. So So he was on this show on MSNBC. I can't remember the guy's name. I have this awful issue of remembering people's names because there's so much going on in our brain. I don't remember anything that's not supremely valuable to me. But I do watch him a lot. So he was this interview on. He's been on this interview before with this guy, but he said something. 50 Cent said something that was in the previous that actually addresses the previous segment that we talked about with T.I. He also said something that addresses the issue that's gone on with Michael B. Jordan and the fact that women and their ideas, and I always want to say ideology, but their ideas about corny men and the other people, the other men that they interact with. You know what? I'm gonna let him play. I'm gonna let him talk about it. But I will just say he unintentionally said, and possibly some of the stuff. He might not have been unintentionally, but because he understands it. But he said what is wrong with the black community without completely saying this is what's wrong with the black community. Here you go. Let's play.
Fingers. It means spirit fingers.
Your story's known, but here you are doing something completely beyond that community.
It's absolutely a positive thing. Like I've had kids who were absolutely in love with me, and they were in love with the wrong part of me. The part that won't actually continue to be successful, the part that won't continue to, be something that people celebrate.
It's so crazy you say that, because we were talking to De Palma, who made Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, of course he made Scarface tough and lovable. You have Pacino there.
Right.
He said, but when he saw all these kids hanging Scarface posters in their dorm rooms, wrong part of Scarface, he said he was actually aghast. Like they really missed the point.
No, but look, the Scarface is the American dream.
Not the ending.
Yeah, but even the ending is, look, people will say, insert me here. And everything that was going on before that point, you know what I'm saying? I know that Pacino was playing a Cuban character that's coming to America, but to make it in America on your own terms is what the movie represented. And then that montage, Push It to the Limit, that's the dream, right?
That's the dream, yeah, respect. So you say wrong part. What's the right part of 50 to fall in love with?
Well, the stuff that they see that I've learned, it kind of kept me out of trouble at points. You know what I'm saying? And it's the side that the stuff that I was saying in the music in the very beginning, and I wasn't. I was crazy. Tell you the truth, Larry. I was absolutely crazy at that point. And then you go and when you look at it and you go, nah. So later, with new information, with more information. You know, that, like I say, my favorite artists, the younger artists that are out there, I see this.
So, biggest part. Well, let's go with the last part first. I was crazy. See the difference? The difference between what T.I., how T.I. addresses what he did and the music he was putting out versus 50, he just straight up says it. I was crazy. And we're living in a community, and it's in an era where we are crazy and we're not willing to admit that we're crazy. Because you know why I say that? It's because, so the definition, the whole definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But why we're crazy is because we're smart enough to know that we're doing the wrong thing. There's like, black people are brilliant. We have even in we just came through Black History Month, where we listed off throughout the whole month. We didn't, because I was doing chemistry, but where the world and America listed off throughout the whole month all the amazing things that black people have done, all the amazing things that black people are capable of, being the computers of NASA, creating the
like engineers. The possibilities are like endless.
Ridiculous. We're smart. There's nothing that black people can't do. The problem is there's nothing that black people can't do. Because we're so smart that we will actually create things that in our mind to justify the things that we know are not actually the right thing. Single motherhood. Like we know that that's not the right way to go, but we will justify it by saying that, oh, I was just making the wrong decision. I made bad choices. I was young. You weren't young. You knew what you were doing when you did it. He knew what he was doing when you did it. But the issue was, you were not adding in the consideration of you having to deal with the consequences, even if he left.
Because a lot of people nowadays act without consequence. Like, you know something can happen because of this action, but you proceed with it anyway because who cares? Is the consequence that bad? I can deal with consequences. I can deal with anything. I'll just deal with it. But then when you actually start dealing with it, then you realize, like, dang, I should have really thought about this. I should have took some more time to think it through. But by then, it's already too late.
And then we say we come up with things that justify it instead of doing like 50 just did. Like, that was crazy. All right, you know what? I did that. Here's the thing: we'll we'll say I was young and dumb in order to say that we didn't know what we were doing, but we did know what we were doing. So it's me, like me. Okay, I'll say me for. I'll use me as an example. Me with my ex, and I love that I have my son, but I made the wrong decision with the woman that I chose, and I own every part of that. I made the wrong decision. And so I dealt with everything past that of all of the time that I had to spend to drive to see him, all of the money I had to spend to make sure that when she couldn't do things, I was still sending extra money, and people said I was insane for doing it, and I knew. But the thing was, I'm not gonna sit here and act like my decisions were not my decisions. My decisions have consequences. So guess what? If I gotta spend more money, that's because I made the wrong decision earlier. But we'll say I was young when instead of saying I was just stupid. Here's the thing, and people get offended when somebody call you stupid because you're not calling yourself stupid. The difference between ignorance and stupid is ignorance is to not know, is to do because you don't know. Stupid is to know and choose to do otherwise. We're walking around here stupid because we're walking around here stupid because we're smart enough to know the difference and choosing to do the opposite.
A lot of people don't get taught the right thing to do.
Yeah, but we got reasoning. I know
reasoning.
We okay. That's the thing that gets me is because we are not taught, but we know. But you
know through experience, or you know through somebody else's experience.
Somebody told us.
But so even if somebody told you, that's you learning through somebody else's experience. It's up to you to take that and be like, okay, such and such went through this, and I see where they at now. Right. I don't want to be there.
So that makes the action stupid.
Yeah, of course.
Because somebody told you.
Yeah. So if somebody tells you something and you don't take heed, then that's your fault.
Yes, and that's the issue. But the issue is that we're going through that too young, and then we're saying I was young, and then no, you knew.
But you can't say that in every situation.
But if you justify, if you don't start with with understanding and coming to the clear point that you knew and you did wrong, then you can't move forward in making the correct decision because you're still justifying the past.
And that's if you know of your wrong.
That's just like T.I. The difference between T.I. and 50. 50 said, nah, I was crazy then. T.I. said, I was a refugee.
T.I. is very well educated, so he knows better.
Yeah.
What he does is speak on high levels so that the people in the trap neighborhood can look up to him and think that he's this.
But he also in T.I.'s interview, he also said that when he speaks like that, they think that he's brainwashed or he's sold out.
No, but it works in two ways. So he does that so they could be like, okay, that's what success looks like. That's where I need to be. So he does that to portray a certain look, but he's not going to go sit around the president and act like that.
He's not going to get around the president. Well, Joe Biden maybe.
He's not going to sit around. He's not going to act accordingly in different circumstances. He does it as a way to just that it's like a smoke screen, basically.
I don't think so.
It is because
but to say like a smoke screen is this So you're saying what you're saying is he's smart enough to know how to talk, but he's choosing to just use that as a smokescreen, but still be the person that he is.
because he still wants to be connected to the he still wants to be street and hood and connected to the trap neighborhood.
Yeah.
If he acts the way that he's been conditioned, which is if you act smart or if you act educated, they're not going to look at you as a street person anymore. They're going to look at you as one of them. So you're not part of them anymore.
No. Well, they'll never look at T.I. like that.
If T.I.
You know why? Because when T.I. had the opportunity to switch over and he didn't.
Because he's still a part of that. He's still a part of that community.
I was so hurt when he got that second charge.
Because he's still a part of that community. He's still in the lifestyle. His hands are still.
He said he's not in that though, but
he is in it. His hands are still in it. You heard him and Boosie.
Yeah, his mindset is still in it. His hands ain't in it. His mindset is still in it. That's where he's jacked up at. His mindset.
If your mind is in it, your hands is in it too. Because your mind controls everything.
Yeah, but if he ain't doing it, he ain't doing it. Like that's like I can be thinking about. I can be thinking about killing somebody, but that don't mean I'm actually doing it.
If it's in your heart, then that's what it is.
But are you doing it?
But even the thought of it.
But I know. But we're talking about what is in your heart. You might as well be doing it. But is you just as guilty? But what I'm saying is, in respect to T.I. and the conversation that we're having about him, is he because he's not into the game like that right now. So he's not. His hands are not in it.
What is like that consistency?
Like that, I mean, like he's not actually. I don't know. I don't believe he's in the game to the point where he's doing drug deals. Like he's got somebody working for him.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying about him. Not his hands ain't in it. He's not. He's not in that line of drug activity.
But he's still perpetuating it through his words, his music, and his actions.
So his mind is in it. He's in. No, he's not in. That's what I. That's my point. He's not. That's what I said in the last one. He's not in that game anymore. Now he's in the slavery game. He's not. He's enslaving the minds of the community. He ain't worried about to get the drugs to get the body. He's enslaving the mind.
But that's what I was saying. Like he acts in a certain way because he knows that the way that he acts is going to keep these people close to him. So if he goes out and he acts educated and
who's he trying to keep close to him with that? Who's he trying to keep close to him with that?
Whoever the trap community is, because they're his biggest supporters.
Yeah.
So if you lose your biggest supporters, you're not going to do as well because people are not going to support you to keep feeding your habit or whatever you have going on. People are not going to go out and say, I love T.I. or a T.I. got this clothing line, I'm going to wear it, I'm going to feel good in it. Yeah, I'm not wearing that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do stuff like that. But
I think he's doing more real estate now. And then just talking. Yeah. He did some music. Like he was supposed to come out with that album with Boosie until all that blew up. And he said, oh, it wasn't no talks about it. And obviously we knew it was talks about it. But what you did, I thought that part is great to me too, because now like you just got bit by the serpent of the game that you was in.
That's what I'm saying. He's not of course, he's not a part of it, but he still wants to be. It's like washing clothes. Like he getting washed up in dirty water and still trying to say I'm clean.
Yeah.
It's not.
The dirty water. Yeah, it's crazy. I just wish we would all understand. But you know what? When 50 was talking about the whole loving, who he can't, who they love the part that can't be sustained. And I don't want to go. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't want to dig all the way into it, but that is the issue that I was talking about when it comes to Michael B. Jordan and the corny dude. The corny dude can be sustained to meet the the star on the what's it called?
Star quality and oh,
See, that's why I said the Walk of Fame, I think. But he can that corny can meet the sustainability of making it to getting a star on the Walk of Fame at 36 years old. But the lifestyle that 50 was living could not sustain that. But that's what the women love.
There's people that actually only date people that's like
Hood, exactly. You know why? Because that's the fun part. Honestly, and I knew I said I didn't want to get into it, but that there is a reason for that. Because you know how women say I want a leader, I want someone to protect, that's a protector and a provider. Those are the animalistic. Those are the animalistic necessities, and that's what. Yes, and those are what we start off with in our younger years, and that's why I say a lot of women and men, but the selection that women use to pick men is still stuck at the lower level and animalistic level of choosing a partner, because there's a reason why women want a 6 foot man, because they want the protection, and he looks like somebody. He's the size of someone that can protect them, right? So that's why they want that. They want someone that the idea of attraction is obviously the idea of continuing continuing reproduction of your bloodline, because those that are most attractive are the ones that are most selected. And then the fun part is the issue of what do kids like to do? They want to have fun. If you see a group of puppies in a cage, what is the mama on the side laying down because she getting milk? Like all the pups are coming to her teats, and then all the puppies are playing around. Like the animalistic qualities of a young mammal are to play, to need protection, to want to be attracted to something. That and those things are what a lot of women use to select their mate, but it's beyond. It hasn't reached to the actual level of what man is actually capable of. That makes us greater.
Yeah.
That makes us greater than all other mammals. Our ability to reason, our ability to build. The reason is what is lacking in a selection of men. And then, of course, so there's the fourth one is sexuality. Like, as soon as you start to get your hormones going, it's about, that sexual pleasure. But the reasoning is lacking in only one area too. That's the part that kills me. Like, women are so great in doing reasoning in every other area except in mate selection.
Some women. Some, not all. Because
Most.
some.
Most.
Some.
Most.
You have to.
So
in a dating pool, you have to.
you know why I
It's
say
like
most?
finding selection. You have to go through and shuffle like a deck of cards until you find King of Hearts.
You know what? I'm not just gonna say women. I'm not even gonna say women because, like I said in the past, I screwed up. I chose the wrong one, and for the same reasons. It was attractive. So let me reverse. Put it down, put it in reverse. Yeah, we, and more importantly, we as black people have to get to the point where we move past the animalistic ideas and understanding of protection, providing. Well, providing can still be there, but protection, providing security and sexuality, because we as humans are supposed to transcend to the ability of reasoning and understanding that just that size of a person, the masculinity or the how much they make you happy, how much they excite you, how much fun they are. Like, how much fun you are doesn't matter if you can't produce, if you don't have vision. But we keep trying to think. Like, I think the first thing that should be asked when you start a communication with a potential partner is, what's your vision? If you ain't got a vision,
people can show you their vision, but it has to have fruit to it.
Yeah, that's true too. Because and that's true, and that's definitely true. But then it's like, oh well, what about potential? Potential don't matter. I don't care about your potential.
Because you could. Everybody have the potential to get up and jump right now.
Every acorn has the potential to be an oak tree. That don't mean every acorn is gonna survive to be an oak tree. Where's your butt at?
I got some fruit.
Anyway,
fruit flavor.
We pushed this segment longer than we wanted to, but there were some things that needed to be said. All right. Hit the like button, please. If you like anything I said or anything your girl Trish said, hit the like button. If you like anything both of us said, hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like nothing and you just want to talk about it, comment. What's the last one? Share. About it. Yes. Share it with somebody else and then tell them why you didn't like what I said. And I don't care. Tell me why you don't like what I said.
Tell them I'm right. Just do it.
If you tell her why she right, tell her the truth.
Tell him I'm right. I need y'all to put it in the comments.
I don't,
put it in the comments. You know what, Trish?
You know what? We didn't disagree with too much though. I thought you were gonna disagree with me more when we were talking about T.I.
No, because I don't like.
You don't like T.I.?
No, I like T.I. But I'm saying, like, I don't like when black people that are in certain heights of their career, and then they're like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing.
You know what?
That doesn't help.
But you didn't tell me. You did not tell me I was right when I spoke on Jay-Z. What's the difference? What's the difference? If I'm a slave owner, and I turn all my profits from slavery into medicine, does it not mean that the money that I received from slavery was wrong?
I mean, we took a bad thing and made it right.
So does that? So if I made it right, and all of those slaves are still with nothing, does it still make it right?
Well, I is a slave with nothing if they don't go out and try and get something.
So all the lashes, every time they got whipped for not making 500 pounds of cotton, none of that matters.
Everybody has to suffer at one point in time.
So you saying slavery was justified? Are you saying slavery was justified? If everybody got to suffer?
I have to defend.
Are you saying slavery was justified?
I defend NY.
Are you saying slavery was justified?
No.
Are you saying the crack epidemic was justified?
Mm.
Because somebody had to make some money so Jay-Z can get out.
Why take the drug?
Why sell it?
That was my thing too. Why be a distributor?
Exactly.
Why be a distributor? Why be a consumer? Whose fault is it? Both of them. Both of them. Because
so that means it's nobody's fault.
No, it's both of them. It's both their fault.
If -1 plus +1 equals 0, then the negative plus positive equals 0, then it's both their fault. That means it's 0. That means nobody's fault.
It's not as simple as a math problem. Wrong is wrong.
Yes.
You know that, especially if you see somebody strung out on the corner. Ooh, I want to try some of that.
Don't nobody say, ooh, I want to try some of that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They got, I got this new thing. It's going to make you sky high or make you feel real good. It's going to make you feel real good. And then you like, oh, I want to try that. You just as wrong as the person telling you about it and the person they get it from. All of y'all wrong. A wrong is a wrong.
But what's the person that's selling it, they get a benefit.
But they're finding a way to profit off of it.
Right. So they're getting the benefit from it.
Yeah, but if you are taking it, nobody told you to buy it and take it. You could buy it and sell it back.
So you saying the drug dealers were justified?
In a certain sense.
So
only because
T.I. was right.
Only because T.I. is wrong.
Why is T.I. right? Why is T.I. wrong? What's the difference between T.I. and Jay-Z?
It's a lot.
Which is, I'm ready. I mean, we here. You started this conversation. Let's go.
We're supposed to be ending.
Let's go. No. What's the difference between T.I. and Jay-Z?
There's lots of difference.
Tell me. Don't just say it's a lot. Like now you're gonna start. Don't do that, because I'm gonna start telling you just being disingenuous and you're not making sense. Don't say something and then not validate it, because then what's the point of talking about it?
We're supposed to be ending this.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
You shouldn't have asked about Jay-Z. You already know it.
Well, then talk about it. Talk about it or don't talk about it and say talk about it or say you was wrong.
Say I was wrong. Oh, you trying to put that?
Talk about it or say you was wrong.
No.
All right, I'm your boy, Mr. Define. That's your girl Trish. She wrong. She won't even talk about it. We are
Black friends.
And we out.